Now we will start with chapter called Audit and Auditors. Audit and Auditors. Put the heading. Now, you all know auditors can be either individuals or it can be a firm. And there are two types of companies. One is called government company, another one is called non-government company. And we have two sections for appointment of auditors. One is called first auditors, another one is called subsequent auditors. Okay, come on, tell me what are the things we studied here. Only individuals can be, or individuals or a firm can be auditors. There are two types of company. One is government company, another one is non-government company. First auditors, subsequent auditors. Now we will study about non-government company subsequent auditor. Okay, non-government companies subsequent auditors under section 139. Once the auditor is appointed in AGM, he will be holding the office for a period of 5 years. The auditor will be appointed for a period of 5 years. He will be holding the office for a period of 5 years. So in AGM, by passing ordinary resolution, shareholders will appoint the auditors. He will be holding the office for a period of 5 years. Then, if individuals, if rotation is applicable, if that company rotation is applicable, if he is an individual, then 5 years. Then cooling period, that means without, you should go out of the company. You should go out of the company. Cooling period, another 5 years. If rotation is applicable to the company, and if they appointed firm as auditor, first period of 5 years, then they can be reappointed for another 5 years. After 10 years, they should mandatorily going for a cooling period of 5 years. Understood? Then, sir, for which company rotation is applicable? Rotation is applicable to all listed company, public company having paid up capital 10 crores or more, or borrowings 50 crores or more. Private company having paid up capital 50 crores or more, or borrowing 50 crores or more. Only then rotation is applicable. So only for these companies cooling period is applicable. Baki companies and all, auditor can be audited for 5 years, then reappointed for 5 years, then reappointed for 5 years, then reappointed for 5 years. But you can never appoint auditor for less than 5 years or for more than 5 years in a single term. Maximum you can appoint only 5 years, and minimum also you can appoint only 5 years. You cannot reduce 5 years to 3 years also. Okay. Then, before appointing the auditor, what and all you should think. In case audit committee is there, in case if a company has audit committee will recommend to the board of directors. Board has two options: to accept the recommendation, to reject the recommendation. If they accept the recommendation, they will be recommending it to shareholders in general meeting. If they reject the recommendation, they should tell the audit committee to come out with another recommendation. Once the board finally accepts it, then the shareholder, after appointing in general meeting by passing ordinary resolution, the company have to intimate auditors. Then the company have to file with ROC form ADT 1. Once it is submitted, it is valid for a period of 5 years. Within 15 days, the company have to submit to ROC. Okay. If board reject, the board again should go to audit committee, and audit committee should give it another. Finally, board is not satisfied with the audit committee, board can decide on their own, but board has to disclose this fact that we are not obeyed the recommendation of the audit committee, we have decided on our own. They should disclose in board's report in section 134 that I have not accepted the audit committee recommendation. Like that you should tell. Understood? Then, before recommending auditors to the board, what the audit committee should do? Audit committee should first go to auditors and you should ask their consent. In case if we recommend you to the board, in case if board accepts it, in case if shareholder accepts it, if you get appointed, whether are you okay for the appointment? So you should get consent. Second, declaration. The auditor should give declaration that he is not disqualified. No cases pending against him in NCLT or by ICAI. He is under the ceiling limit. Each auditor can maximum do only 20 audits. So he is under the ceiling limit. So all these things he has to give declaration. Then only an auditor will be recommended to the board of directors. Now, not all company will have audit committee. Only few companies will have audit committee. Audit committee applicability. In case if the company is a listed company, it is mandatory. In case if it is public company, if paid up capital of the company is 10 crore, if the paid up capital is how much? 10 crore, or turnover of the company is 100 crore, turnover how much? 100 crores, or loans exceeding 50 crores from banks and finance institution, only then audit committee is applicable. For private company, audit committee is exempted. Private company there is no audit committee. So only if audit committee is applicable, then audit committee will be recommending to the board, board will be recommending to the shareholders. If there is no audit committee, for example, some public companies may have paid up capital less than 10 crores, turnover less than 100 crores, loans less than 50 crores. In that scenario, there is no audit committee. Hence, who will be deciding the auditors? Board of directors themselves, they can recommend to shareholders. Can you able to understand? Okay. So this is first portion. What is this? For non-government company, subsequent auditors will be appointed in general meeting and they will be holding the office for a period of 5 years. Now, after individual being 5 years or firm being 2 terms of 5 years, after that cooling period. During that time, you can appoint another auditor. No, there should not be any common partner. There should not be any common partner between the existing firm which is going to retire and the new firm which is going to come in. So there should not be any common partner between these two firms. Can you able to understand? Okay. Sir, common partner means what? Signing partner of firm A should not be signing partner of firm B. Can you able to understand? Common partner, what they are saying, they are talking about signing partner. If he is not a signing partner, then it's not an issue. So, after appointing firm B, from firm A, Mr. Z has resigned and joined in firm B. But Mr. Z is not signing partner in firm B. Some other partner is only a signing partner for audit, then no issue. So, common signing partner is only issue. The word used in the act is engagement partner. Can you able to understand? Okay, then. Now we will go to subsequent auditor of a government company. Subsequent auditor of a government company. Subsequent auditor of a government company. Okay, first of all, within 180 days from the commencement of financial year, they should appoint. Here AGM. Here 180 days from the commencement of financial year. Generally, we will conduct AGM in the month of September. So 180 days from the commencement of financial year is also September. 1/4 is the commencement of financial year. 180 days come to September. So there is no big difference. Okay. But 180 days from the commencement of financial year, you should appoint. Who should appoint? Comptroller and Auditor General. C and AG. Comptroller and Auditor General will appoint the auditors. He will hold the office from the appointment date till next AGM date. Understood? This is subsequent auditor of the government company. Now we will go to first auditor of non-government company. The first auditor of a non-government company will be appointed within 30 days from date of incorporation. So date of incorporation, so for example 2/1/2019 is the date of incorporation. 30 days is how much? 1st February 19. So within this date you should appoint the auditor. Who have to appoint the auditor? Board of directors have to appoint the auditor. If board fails within 90 days of incorporation, that means within 2/1/19 to 90 days, within 90 days of incorporation, shareholder have to appoint. Now board, after 30 days of failure, they should intimate the shareholder that we failed, so please come and appoint. So shareholder have to appoint within 90 days of incorporation. Come on, tell me. Board of directors have to appoint the first auditor of the company, of a non-government company, within 30 days of incorporation. If board fails, then they have to intimate the shareholders, and shareholders within 90 days they should appoint the auditors. Understood? Then for government company, how it will be? For government company, the first auditors will be appointed within 60 days of incorporation. 60 days of incorporation by C&AG, Comptroller and Auditor General. If C&AG fails, from the 60th day, you have another 30 days. From the 60th day, Board of Directors will be appointing. If board fails within 60 days from C&AG's failure, it is not 60 days from the board's failure, it is 60 days from the C&AG's failure, who have to appoint? Shareholder have to appoint. Can you understand? Come on, tell me. Within 60 days of incorporation, C&AG has to appoint. Then if C&AG failed, next 30 days, from the 61st days to 30th day. If board of directors also failed, shareholders within how many days? 60 days from the failure of C&AG have to appoint the auditors. The first auditor of the company will be holding the office from the appointment date till the conclusion of the first AGM. Till the conclusion of the first AGM. Here, okay, we appointed auditor, normal auditor for non-government company, 5 years, no. He will be holding from the conclusion of first AGM till the conclusion of 6th AGM. Okay, 5 years. These people will be holding from the appointment date till the conclusion of first AGM. Can you able to understand? Okay. So what we completed? We completed appointment of subsequent auditor for a non-government company, then subsequent auditor for a government company, then first auditor of a non-government company, then first auditor of a government company. Then we also studied for individuals it is 5 years, for firm it is 2 terms of 5 years. For only which company rotation is applicable? Listed company, public company having paid up capital 10 crores or more, borrowing 50 crores or more, private company having paid up capital 50 crores or more, borrowing 50 crores or more. Understood? Okay, this is the first point. In case if the auditor vacates the office, there are 2 options for vacation. Due to resignation, the vacancy arises. Other than resignation, vacancy arises. If the auditor resigned due to resignation, then there may be chance he got pressure from the management, board of director. Then it should be filled within 30 days by the board of director, and it should be ratified by the general meeting within 3 months. That means shareholder should come and ratify this appointment. Okay. In case other than resignation, if the auditor's position vacant, then within 30 days it should be filled by board of directors. It need not be ratified. Can you able to understand? So if it is resigned, it should be ratified within 3 months. If it is other than resignation by death, disqualification, etc., the board need not ratify. Understood? Means shareholders need not ratify. Understood? This is the section 139. Understood? Now. Then 140, removal and resignation of auditor. Removal and resignation of auditors. Sir, how an auditor can be removed? Shareholder who is holding 1% of equity shares or 5 lakh rupees worth of equity shares have to send special notice to the board of directors. Okay, then that means they have intention to remove the auditors. Board has to pass board resolution. After passing board resolution, the board has to file form ADT 2 with central government stating they want to remove the auditors. Central government may accept or may reject. In case central government accepts, then from the acceptance date within 60 days you should conduct EGM. From the date of acceptance within 60 days you should conduct EGM. Then you should pass special resolution to remove the auditors in the general meeting. That's how the auditor is getting removed. Now the notice calling for EGM should also be sent to auditors who is going to get removed. The auditor has two options. He will be giving representation letter. He may not give representation letter. Representation letter has two options. He may abuse the position. He may abuse the position. That means he may tell something wrong about the directors. Or he may not abuse the position. If he is abusing the position, the board of directors can go to NCLT. This representation letter will not be circulated if NCLT says okay. If he is not abusing the position, the representation letter needs to be circulated to all the shareholders. If there is no time available for circulation to the shareholders in the notice, then you should at least read out in the meeting. Okay, meeting you should read out the representation given by the auditors. Okay, mostly it will be thank you for the opportunity. That's all. Okay, now, so you will be conducting AGM and you will be passing special resolution to remove the auditor. Once the auditor got removed, what happened? Casual vacancy. This casual vacancy is other than resignation, hence it will be filled by the board of directors within 30 days. Sometimes shareholder can also decide to fill the vacancy by their own. In case if the shareholder want to remove this auditor and appoint another auditor, that should also be told in the special notice. Can you ever understand? Next, if the auditor wants to resign, how to resign? Resignation. How the auditor will be resigning? He will be writing a resignation letter and he will be submitting to the board of director along with reasons. Then he will be submitting form ADT 3 to ROC. In case if he is a government company auditor, then he will be submitting to C&AG also. Come on, tell me, resignation letter has to be forwarded to 3 people. One is board of directors, another one is ROC, another one is CAG. Understood? This is section 140. Now we will go to section 141. In case of resignation, who will fill the vacancy? Who will fill the vacancy? Board of directors, but it should be ratified by shareholders within 3 months. Next, section 141. Eligibility to become auditor, that is disqualification and qualification of auditors. Okay, so in case if the auditor, so if a company wants to appoint the auditor, who cannot be auditors? Who cannot be auditors? Who cannot be auditors? Employees of the company, directors of the company, promoters of the company, KMPs of the company, key manager person of the company. These people cannot be auditors. Relatives of these people also cannot be auditors. Body corporate cannot be auditors. Body corporates, that means a company cannot be audited. But so that means what? An individual or a firm or LLP. LLP is a body corporate, but for the limited purpose of this section, LLP is not considered as a body corporate. Then there are 3 things shareholders, indebtedness, guarantee. Shareholders. Auditor can be a shareholder. His partner can be shareholder. Okay. Relatives can be shareholder. There are three. Auditor and his partner, they should not even have 1 rupee share in the company. But relatives can have rupees 1 lakh rupees face value of share in the company. But they should not also hold any shares in the holding company or subsidiary company or associate company. They can have shares only in the company in which you are appointed as auditor. They cannot also have shares in the holding company, subsidiary company, etc. Understood?
Yes.
Now, if they are having more than 1 lakh rupees of shares, they should sell within 60 days. They should sell within how much? 60 days. Can you able to understand? Okay. Indebtedness. The auditor, partner and the relatives put together can be indebted for a period of for amount of rupees 5 lakhs. How much they can be indebted? For amount of rupees 5 lakhs. Auditor, partners, relatives. In the company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company put together. Shares they cannot hold in holding company, subsidiary company. They can hold only in this company where they are auditors, relatives. But indebtedness they can have in all the company put together. Auditors, partners, relatives put together 5 lakh rupees they can have. Guarantee. Auditor has given guarantee to a person who is indebted to the company for more than 1 lakh rupees. So auditor has given guarantee to a person who is indebted to the company for more than 1 lakh rupees. Then auditor cannot be auditor for the company. Can you understand? Then ceiling limit. How many audits a person can hold? Each CA can hold maximum of 20 audits, excluding 1% company, small company, dormant company, okay, private company having paid up capital less than 100 crores. Private company having less than 100 crores. Can you understand? Okay, then, sir, auditor removal, there are two options. We already studied, they can be removed by shareholders. They can also be removed by tribunal. In case if auditor joined with some directors and doing mistake, tribunal can remove the auditor. In case tribunal remove the auditors, he cannot be auditor for any company for next 5 years. He cannot be auditor for any company for next 5 years. In case court remove the auditors, in case the court has removed the auditors, he cannot be auditor for a period of 10 years. Can you understand? Okay. Then we'll go to 142. Okay. Now remuneration. Before that, there is something called business connection in 141. What is business connection? The auditor should not do any other services other than professional services to the company. If he is doing any other services other than professional services, it's called business connection. If he is doing business connection, they is disqualified to become auditors. But there are certain services which is not called as business connection. Ordinary course of business at arm's length pricing if you buy. For example, I am the auditor of a furniture company. I am buying furniture from the company at arm's length price. I am auditor of a cooker company. I am buying one cooker for my house at arm's length price. There is no issue. Other than this, if for telecommunication, hospital, okay, then airways, travel, then hotels, if I am auditor, I can still use their services. Because for example, if I am auditor of Apollo, I can admit in Apollo. I can admit myself in Apollo or I admit my relatives in Apollo. If I am auditor of BSNL, I can use BSNL telephones. So that is not going to be creating any issue. Can you understand?
Yes.
Then remuneration. Who fixes the remuneration for the auditors? Shareholders in ordinary resolution in general meeting. Correct? Sometimes the shareholders can delegate this power to board of directors. So audit fees is equal to fees paid plus payable, okay, plus reimbursement of expenses. Audit fees is equal to paid, payable plus reimbursement of expenses. This should be disclosed in statement of profit and loss. Then Then 143, powers and duties of auditors. Now auditor is having right to access wherever the books are kept. Auditor is having access to the books of accounts. So far as it relates to consolidation, auditor is having access to visit subsidiary company also. So access books of the company plus subsidiary company also he can visit. Understood? Auditor can also ask the return from the foreign branches. Okay. Auditor can also visit branch, or he can ask the return from the foreign branch. Auditor is having a right to get information and explanation. Then auditor he will do some inquiry. What is inquiries he should do? Whether any loans given based on the security, company has given some loans based on the security, whether it is properly secured. Loans given based on security, whether it is properly secured. Point number 2, whether any loans shown as deposits. Point number 3, whether any director's personal expenses charged off to revenue. Director's personal expenses charged off to revenue. That means P&L you are charging off the director's expenses. Company is not a investment company or a banking company, but much of the assets are investment assets. So majority of assets are what assets? Investment asset, and sold at less than cost price. So less than the cost price. You should ask question. Then company has issued shares for cash, but cash not received. They told what? Shares are issued for, allotted for cash, but actually cash not received. Company issued for cash, but cash not received. So these are the questions I should ask the management, board of directors. Then whether other reporting points, whether the books of accounts are complete, whether the financial statements are prepared as per the books of accounts, whether the financial statements are prepared in accordance with Schedule 3 and accounting standards. Then whether internal control are adequate, whether safeguarding of assets are done, whether the director have taken steps to prevent and deduct fraud and error. Okay, these are the points I should write in my. Then in case if the company internal financial control system is applicable, you should ask certain more questions. Point number 1, whether the business are efficient in conduct, business operating efficiently, financials are prepared on time, financial statement shows full disclosures, then internal control is proper, safeguarding of assets, prevention and reduction of fraud and error. These are companies which is IFSC is applicable. Okay, then so not all companies will have IFSC. Generally, if their paid up capital 25 crores or borrowings 25 crores, only then IFSC is applicable. So other companies and all, IFRS and all not applicable. Then come back. In case I have any qualification or reservation, auditor is having any qualification or reservation, then I have to write it, okay, in the basis of qualified opinion paragraph in my audit report. SA 706. Okay, this is the 705. 706 is emphasis of matter paragraph. So in SA 705, I will be writing a qualified opinion. Understood? Then auditor have to follow accounting standards, auditing standards. Auditor have to follow accounting standards, auditing standard issued by central government. As of now, NFRA will be issuing, but previously ICAI was issuing. Okay. Auditor has to report CARO, Company Auditors Report Order. Auditor has to issue another report called CARO. This, whenever there is applicable only, it will come. Not all companies will have CARO, only when the applicability is there. Then fraud reporting. When auditor have to report fraud, how to report fraud? In case the auditor found fraud, you should communicate within 2 days. Fraud has to be communicated within 2 days. To whom? To the audit committee or board of directors. Then they will be given some time. In case fraud is less than 1 crore, in case fraud is more than or equal to 1 crore, I will be giving them how many days time? 45 days time. If fraud is less than 1 crore, the board of directors have to report it to the shareholders in board's report. But in case if fraud is more than 1 crore, then auditor, after waiting for 45 days, in another 15 days, the next 15 days after 45 days, it will communicate to central government in form ADT 4. Form ADT 1 is for appointment, ADT 2 is for removal, ADT 3 is for resignation, ADT 4 is for fraud reporting to central government. So auditor have to write all the findings of fraud. He put sealed cover and he should write his findings in ADT 4 and he should forward to central government. Can you understand? This is section 143. Then everyone understood this? (144) Restrictions for auditors to do certain services. Auditor is not allowed to do certain services. Auditor is not allowed to do certain services. Number 1, auditor cannot act as bookkeeper of the same company where he is doing audit. Auditing cannot do accounting and bookkeeping. Auditor cannot do accounting and bookkeeping. Auditor cannot do internal audit. So if he is a statutory auditor for the same company, he cannot be a internal auditor. Auditor cannot do any outsourced financial services. Outsourced financial services. Auditor cannot do any outsourced financial services. Auditor cannot do any actuarial services. That means gratuity calculation, insurance advisory and all he cannot do. Auditor cannot do investment banking services. Auditor cannot do banking advisory services. Okay, investment banking, banking advisory. Auditor cannot do implementation of management information system, MIS. Auditor cannot do management consultancy. Come on, tell me what another auditor should not do? Accounting and bookkeeping, internal audit, outsourced financial services, actuarial services, investment banking, banking advisory, management information system implementation, management consultancy. All these services auditor should not do. Can you understand? Next, auditor should not do these services either through himself or through relatives or through associates. Okay, then 145. Auditor should sign the audit report. Auditor should sign the audit report. So, what is this auditor to sign audit report? After completing the audit, you either resign from the company if they are limiting your scope, or you just sign it with the qualification. So, if they are not allowing you to give qualification, either you resign or you sign with qualification. Mandatorily, you should sign the audit report. You cannot just like that keep quiet. Okay? Generally, for normal companies, they will sign. Only for the company where they think something is fishy in the company, but you cannot keep on dragging it. You sign it by qualifying the audit report or give an adverse remark. 146. Auditor to attend general meeting. Auditor is having right to receive notice. Auditor is having right to receive notice of all general meeting. It's not only AGM, all the general meeting is having a right to receive notice. But in AGM, you should mandatorily attend the general meeting. Okay. In case if auditor cannot go, what he should do? He should send his representatives, who should be a qualified CA. He cannot send other than CAs. He should send only a qualified CAs as the representatives. Okay. In case the qualified CAs are not available, what to do? You should tell in AGM they should pass ordinary resolution exempting auditors to attend general meeting. And in AOA, you have to amend it. Auditor need not come for general meeting to attend the general meeting. Understood? So, if auditor is not turning up, what you should do? Either amend the AOA, pass the resolution in the general meeting. Auditor, if he is not coming also, no issues. Okay? Then 147. Penalty. There are two types of penalty for the auditor. One is civil penalty, another one is criminal penalty. Civil penalty also two things. One is without knowing, another one is willingness. Criminal penalty is imprisonment, but civil penalty is only fines. Auditor, what is a fine? The fine is if the auditor violates the sections 139 to 145. 146 there is no penalty. 145 variko. 139 to 145 if he violates, the auditor violates. Without knowing, 20,000 to 5 lakhs or 4 times of the fees received, whichever is less. Okay. Willingness oda panna 1 lakh to 25 lakhs or 8 times of the fees received, whichever is less. Criminal penalty, you should go for imprisonment. Civil penalty, both auditor and partners are jointly and severally liable. For criminal penalty, only the concerned person is liable, not all the people. Then, not only for auditors, but for company and directors also penalty is there. For directors or officer who is involved in its violation, for them it is 10,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees. For company, it is 20,000 rupees to 5 lakh rupees. What is the penalty for the company? This section 147. Continue, what happened in 147? There are two penalty, civil penalty, criminal penalty. Without knowing, he has done the miss. With willingness, he done the problem. Then the penalty is 20,000 to 5 lakhs or 4 times of the fees received. Here it is 1 lakh to 25 lakhs, 8 times of the fees received. There he should go for imprisonment. Understood? In the last section, 148. See, there are two things you should keep in mind. One is cost records. Another one is cost audit. Cost record is what? every company which is comes under either regulated sector and non-regulated sector. Company is either regulated sector or non-regulated sector. If the turnover is 35 crores or more, then cost record is mandatory. In case if the company is under regulated sector, then if turnover is 25 crores or more, that is the single product turnover, and aggregate turnover is 50 crores or more. In case of non-regulated sector, 35 crores or more, 100 crores or more. That means this is for single product. The product which comes under the sector, this is aggregate turnover for the company. So a single product which comes under the sector of regulated 25 crores or more, aggregate turnover 50 crores or more, that is total turnover of the company. And non-regulated sector's turnover is 35 crores or more, aggregate turnover is 100 crores or more, that is company's total turnover. Under condition, if satisfied, then cost auditors must. Who will be doing cost audit? CMA in practice, he will do cost audit. When cost audit is exempted, in case if the company is SEZ company, or the company 75% of the turnover is export, or electricity has been produced for the captive consumption of electricity. For these companies, cost audit are exempted. Understood? Now what is regulated sector? Electricity, telecommunication, oil and gas, then industrial alcohol. Okay, then non-regulated sector, tires and tubes, steel, cement. This is the non-regulated sector. Understood? So with this we completed Audit and Auditors chapter.